Welcome back to the Super Tuesday Recap Mailbag. This is your host, Chris, and Deepom here. It's going to be an extra spicy mailbag, folks. So, just buckle right in. If you're new to this, we once a month, end of every month, we do record a mailbag episode where we take your listener, or if you're watching this on YouTube, watch your viewer emails. You can email us at mailbag@mtrnetwork.net. We'll also deal with a topic of the day, which is our extra spicy topic today. And then I also have a few quick hits that we'll do at the end. So let's jump right into this. Let me go through my mail.
A lot of emails.
We actually did get a lot of emails this time, guys. So if I missed somebody's email, I'm so sorry. Like I said, there were just a lot of them. So, all right, let's see. We start with this first one. I have... Khalif says, hey, Chris, listening to your discussion on Black Panther promos leading up to the premiere. Planning on seeing it twice and going to an after party with friends. Now, that's how you do it. Now, with the promos going on, how many promos do you think will be shown to the Super Bowl the 4th of February? If we're expecting to see a lot, should that be a drinking game, a shot for every kind of Black Panther promo? You'll probably get, because they've done the last trailer already, so you'll probably get at least one TV spot. Now, I would probably more...
Han Solo.
Yeah, I was going to say the big spot will probably be Han Solo, maybe an Infinity War thing, something for an Infinity War. But I don't think you'll get any more. Like, I don't see them. They're going to do something at Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, but they're already full swing ahead. Like, if anything, you might see more of that Lexus promo that I've been talking about that I knew was going to come and finally came out this week, and it's fucking awesome.
Hey, and never tell us that Wonder Woman got equal time again.
Never again. Never bring that shit up. I never want to hear anybody say that shit about Wonder Woman. Like, I still to this day cannot believe people argue with us that long about that.
Like they were the marketing execs.
It's not even close. Like, Black Panther's getting Scott Alexis. Like, the car dealer ones are like, they're huge. And they got one. So... Yes. And it's Lexus. It's nice. It's nice. So, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna see any huge thing. I mean, it's definitely. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely gonna be promoted during the Super Bowl. But you'll probably just see the one promo, and they might play it a couple times. But,
you get one or two. You might get two. You probably get the first trailer and the second trailer.
Yeah, but it'll probably be nothing different than you've seen before. But just to remind you, hey. In a week or two, you're going to see, and
maybe a new spot with like a countdown.
And from what I've seen, I've heard that there's some screeners starting next week, and that the embargo's up for social media, and the full embargo for reviews are up like a full week in advance. So, yeah, I don't think that they know they have a hit on their hands. Like, I think the day of this morning it started. It might be getting 100 to 120, and now the estimates are 120 to 150. Opening weekend, about right.
They're going to make so much money.
Yeah, they're going to make a lot of money. I mean, look, again, shout out to everybody for, you bought tickets to our Black Panther viewings that we have tickets for on the West Coast. And, like, I was literally writing an article about the Lexus promotion, and I was going to put at the end of it, we still have tickets available for our West Coast. And then I looked on Facebook, and right at that point, Lance was saying that we just sold out. So, yeah. So, So there's that. Yeah. So it's gonna be so big. I can't wait. Like, I can't think of another movie where I've seen people. Cause I don't even think people did this for Wonder Woman. I can't think of another movie where people were buying out theaters.
I know they did it for Wonder Woman. I remember that actually specifically, but I think you're right. Like they completely underestimated how hungry this audience is for this picture.
Yeah. So, Uncanny Nervers Network. Hey guys, hope all is well. You made it through the recent snowstorms in the East Coast. Let me just say real quickly about that. It was 6 degrees earlier this week. Yesterday when I was walking out my building for work. Fucking flurries.
So last Wednesday, Atlanta shut down because of snow and ice. And then on Saturday, I worked in the front yard because it was 66 degrees. And now I'm somewhere in between and a little bit scared.
How come those, like, when it's really cold and we're getting snow, I guess global warming, right, guys? People they always say that during that time. But when weather like this is just fucking like erratic, they never say shit.
Like, they know they're wrong.
Anyway, I'm currently writing this email while snowed in here in Ohio. I just wanted to drop in to let you know some of the best comics I've read lately. Wondering if you read any of them. Feel free to mention them your favorites. First, X-Men Gold annual number 1 was one of the best issues of the series yet. Lee Williams just set herself up for an Excalibur series. The backup issues provided so much needed love to Storm, which is good because there's going to be some not Storm hate, but there's going to might be some extra spicy shit happening later on in this episode, as she's been pushed aside since Extraordinary X-Men. Second, Marvel 2-in-1 number 1, Chip Zdarsky surprised the hell out of me and gave me Fantastic Four teaser fix. Although Frank Sue and the children shouldn't return yet, the series teases their return down the road in an amazing way. Yeah, we're all just waiting for the Fantastic Four to return. We know it's going to happen, and we know it's going to be special when it does. Third, the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur series. I finally jumped on board with the series and have added it to my pool. Bravo Marvel on allowing the series to continue despite estimated low sales to retailers. Every comic book reader should be forced to read this series to understand the importance of it. The book not being canceled with the recent act shows Marvel believes in the series. That's because it does really well in trades, from what I've heard. So that's one of the ones that do trades really well. Fourth, the Batman and White Knight minis. I haven't been a fan of Tom King's recent run past I Am Gotham, so that's where we disagree. So White Knight have filled the void with an interesting Elseworld take on Gotham City while pulling from the Batman lore and new proofs for Joker. Yeah, I've loved Tom King stuff since like the entire run.
I didn't hear that line.
Yeah, so we're gonna let them slide. But have you read the White Knight? I've heard good things about it.
I'm reading it as it comes out. It's really good. It's really good. It's an interesting take. It's Elseworlds, but it feels like Zack Snyder's Batman writ large, honestly.
Done right.
I mean, honestly, you said it.
I should also mention I bought my wife and I tickets to Black Panther for the Friday morning, and it's her birthday. That's a loving husband right there. We're hyped. Wakanda forever. Black Panther so lit. I know you guys have already touched on this, but the marketing has been so strong. Releasing an original soundtrack. I can't remember the last time a major movie released a true soundtrack to reflect the movie. Not to mention the Marvel just revealed the Tessa Thompson portrayal of Valkyrie in the upcoming Exiles comic book. It's a great time to be a Blurred. Thanks for reading my long email. Keep the great content coming, Ryan. Yeah, no, I mean we've been saying like not just have the marketing been strong, but this is gonna be one of those things that you're not going to be able to go back from now. Like what Marvel and Disney have done with this has made it so that you're not going to now be able to go back up off this. If you have a black film, I mean, you already saw it with Proud Mary, right? I don't believe that the lack of marketing for Proud Mary would have gotten as much, attention if we weren't seeing Disney pushing out marketing for Black Panther and A Wrinkle in Time and all this other stuff. I think Screen Gems would have made it get away with, burying Proud Mary. I mean, obviously we would have said something, but I don't think that the media would have picked it up as much. So, yeah, I think that that's an important thing. We've never not even just that Pacific Rim Uprising. John Boyega's all in front of that shit, and I'm in on that shit too, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just. Yeah. I saw, and they play DMX, motherfucker. Like, what do you think I'm gonna? Anyway, I'm sorry. I wasn't even supposed to get into that, but yeah. I don't know. This is a weird email. I'll say that one for a little bit later. This was from Justin from Three Fifths Podcast. Why do you hate black love? T'Challa deserves his human power prop wife. That's hinting at us getting into some extra spicy shit later on.
I don't feel like that's a spicy one.
No, that's mild. Mild. We have Tanya. You have an email for us from Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're just going to say this and we're going to read it on the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. Since, I definitely made a note of this one. We'll read that there.
You better, because now I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I love when we get emails for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're excited. Here we go. Peyton just wanted to clear her throat and say Black motherfucking Lightning, and next month Black motherfucking Panther. Shit, you can't tell me nothing. Not a goddamn thing. That's all. So, valid.
That's an accurate. That's not just accurate. That's a calendar you can live off of.
Yes. Let's see. This one is from. Wait, do I have another one? Yeah, wait, where am I? Okay, wait, here's Sam. No, wait. Sorry, guys. Somehow my mailbag got messed up. So let's say, okay, here we go. Hey, Deepalm and Chris, hope all is well. With all the clamoring for a Sleepless in Wakanda, when T'Challa met Ororo movie, what comic couple do you think would make for a better movie? You want to take this one first?
Name one. Any couple. Any actual couple. That has like a history or like makes sense for them to be together or anything like that. Anyone. Not just because they're both black.
No, wait. They're both African. Get it right.
We'll talk about that too.
Well, okay, good point.
We'll talk about that.
Good point. I know what you're going to say.
I mean, I'm technically okay.
No. We're saving that. We're saving that.
I'm a huge fan of Reed and Sue. They're probably my favorite couple in comics. Watching when it's written well, it's a varying. It's how do you love someone that's the smartest man alive? And so often it's revealed that the answer is he's trying to figure out how to love her best. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a good, for me, I'm just a huge fan of both characters. And I think that I'm still angry I haven't gotten a decent portrayal of them anywhere.
Well, you have Kitty and Peter. They're getting married now, aren't they? In the comics, they're officially going there. So you got that. I said this on Twitter. People saw the line. I was like, "Yo, you could have done Wolverine. You could have done Logan and Storm together, and that would have made more sense." To be perfectly honest.
Man, they've gotten together before.
It does. Oh, you know the funny thing. So I was going back, and we're going to talk about this later on. But I was going back and reading the issues, those Black Panther Volume 4 issues, where T'Challa all of a sudden realizes he's in love with Storm. Like, I'm not like he's actually jealous of Logan in there because he thinks Logan is her boyfriend, and I'm like, oh, God damn it. So there's that. Yeah, there's so many other shit. The what Tom King is doing with Selena and Bruce right now.
Oh my God. Well, I think it just goes to show that if, like we said, a couple has legitimate history and you can pull on that, you can depict them on a big screen really well. I think you can do Lois and Clark really well if the characters had chemistry and it was written by someone who wasn't a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah. So, let's see. Second thing is I keep all my comics on a bookshelf at home. Well, all of them except for The Boys and Preacher. I keep those in the back of my bedroom closet where I hope no one will find them. What are some of your favorite back of the closet series? I think this came up because they're apparently making The Boys into an Amazon show.
Every time someone says it out loud, I just shake my head slowly, like, why?
I just want to know. I want to know how that pitch meeting went.
No, you have to call it something else. You can't let them know that there's a source material. You just got to pitch it as like, there are these guys who work with the government to control superheroes. So kind of like a superhero SWAT team. Superheroes got a hand, they come in, they put them down. Every week they come in and fight with a wacky new meta. We'll buy that series. Awesome. The Boys is coming. Like, wait a second.
I thought I heard of that before. Isn't that banned in like Australia?
Okay, so books that you're not necessarily putting on the coffee table, if you will. I guess The Boys obviously has to be on there. I'd say Sandman, just because no one's ever had a short conversation about Sandman, and I probably don't feel like talking with you about Sandman. So I keep my Sandman love to myself. Southern Bastards is going to get there, but that's Jason Aaron, and it's amazing. But He's doing some fun things there.
So outside the boys, I didn't really have anything, but I'll say one thing that I think everybody does read, but I would never put out in public for people who don't read comics. Saga.
Oh, Clean Room. I started Clean Room this week. Oh my God. Clean Room.
Yeah, you can't read. Yeah, Clean Room and Saga, you can't have those out. Like, you can't. Here's the thing about Saga. Saga, you can't read that in public. Because what happens with Saga is you're reading it, everything's fine. Then you turn a page and you have a giant dragon sucking his own dick. Like, that's the problem with Saga. Like, you can't read that in public. It's gonna get you fucking caught up. You know, it just will. So, and the last question from Sam was, what was the last comic to elicit a thug tear from you? Which I can't even think of one. Like, what about you?
Silver Surfer 14.
Okay. You were telling me about that.
Have you read that series yet?
I have not.
25 issues. You need to read it.
Yeah, I know.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I've heard good things about Surfer.
Oh, Dan Slott's leaving Spider-Man. I don't know if you got any emails on this. I just want to say, in case he ever hears this, thank you very much, Mr. Slott. We've legitimately enjoyed it. And I think he's actually crossed the barrier in having written more Spidey than anyone. I have to check the math, but well-deserved. This last arc is going to be fun. We've got 6 more issues of him on Amazing Spider-Man. And when it's all said and done, when you're going to pull back what he did with Superior Spider-Man, with redefining Norman Osborn, with giving Peter everything he ever wanted and then taking it away. Tip of the cap. He brought back Ben Reilly.
Which I know is a big thing for you.
He's done the only thing I've ever wanted a Spider Writer to do.
Yeah. Like it'll be. He needs to move into Iron Man, right? Invincible.
He's going to be Iron Man, which is going to be fun too.
Yeah, that should be fun. So, here we go, Steve. I think I sent you one, but I think we read it last time, so ignore that one.
Okay.
This one's from Steven. All right, guys. I know you've been hitting hard on X-Men talk the last couple of months, but between the merger and the gift, the X-Men are back, baby. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. So, one question for today: You're in charge of the X-Men universe, and you're in charge of rebooting and the eventual merger into the MCU. Name the 5 movies and storylines you're doing to get the X-Men back to where they should be. First of all, I'm not merging them into the MCU, so there's that.
That's not happening, no.
Huh?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't merge them into the MCU. I mean, you'll eventually do your crossover. Yeah,
you crossover. Don't ever merge them.
Yeah, you do the crossover. I think the merger is more messy than people want to admit. But so I actually didn't write up my 5, but this will be fun to go through. The one I think that I think they should obviously just start with, because it's an easy one to do. It hits everything you need to do. You can adapt it any way you want, and it really will drive home. It keeps it really simple. Drives home. God loves, man kills.
So that's my 3rd movie.
What's your first one?
First Class.
Okay.
First Class is that. But I also cast all these movies. You know that, right?
Right. I'm a nerd. Right.
So First Class for me, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Warren Worthington, but I'm casting a black actor.
We're going black actor with Warren.
I'm going Black Warren because I think that a white kid full of privilege wouldn't hide his wings.
But that's actually a good point.
Psychologically speaking, because who's ever told that motherfucker no in his life? But a black billionaire's son he always feel how tenuous it could be.
Well, you get a lot. You can do a lot with that. Then
exactly.
You can. I can see
no,
that.
Literally a black angel.
Yeah. No. That
people's reaction to that would be fucked up.
That's actually not bad, sir. Not bad. You have me. You have my attention.
And I put Storm and Piotr on the First Class too.
No, we've talked about this before. And I can understand. I can see that. I think they make good I think they make good alternates for having Bobby.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Bobby always works well as being the youngster, and putting Peter that makes sense to me. So, but would you do? Would you do any? What kind of storyline would you do? Would you just kind of recreate?
Movie one is you have to open with. So my recruitment character would be Jean Grey. She'd be our pinhole. She'd be the way we get into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be the recruitment and retention of Jean Grey to the X-Men school, and you'd hear about students who left and students who stayed. And we get our first showdown with the Brotherhood. That's our big set piece. And the end of the movie, Charles Xavier takes off his watch and it flies to his wheelchair because it's been magnetized because Magneto was there. And we just tease Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Movie 2 is an adaptation of Second Genesis.
Okay.
So as opposed to it being an island, Magneto comes in Act 1 and wrecks the fucking X-Men. Lays waste to the mansion, takes him captive. Last-ditch effort. Charles Xavier sets off post-hypnotic memories in 5 mutants around the world. They come save the day. That's your second movie. Logan. And then it got tough for me because I was like, I want to expand it, but I don't want to dip into, because I want to do something. I want the 5th movie to be a first class, like a Generation X. I want the 5th movie to be New Mutants, honestly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So I haven't worked out the details. So second movie, Deadly Genesis, or Second Genesis. Third movie is God Love Man Kills, but you sprinkle in the Phoenix Saga too.
You can definitely do that. Yeah.
And then fourth movie is Dark Phoenix.
Well,
in that class of X-Men.
So, I guess that's the thing, though. Can you ever really? Because by the time that'll be the third attempt at doing the Dark Phoenix story. Do you do it?
Let it breathe. Let it breathe over the course. Right. That's your subplot. Like if I'm building a Dark Phoenix over 4 movies, I can get you there.
True. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And the 5th movie is the soft reboot. Charles Xavier's back at the school. It's been rebuilt. And the X-Men we watched, they're the teachers now. They're running the place. And we follow 5 new kids. Cannonball, Magma, Sunspot, Rain, and Moonstar.
Yep. Cause, I mean, that makes sense because that's 5 movies. So that's almost 15. That's 10, 15 years right there.
And I showed restraint and never cast Havoc. I want everyone to notice that. Oh no, I'm sorry. And then add Bobby to the New Mutants too, and then use Bobby as our.
That's actually that makes sense. Yeah, I can see Bobby's the one of the original that I can see. It's always been weird to me that they didn't. And I know why they didn't do it because he had the cool power.
Exactly.
But then they never use his cool powers though, and it's kind of I'm not trying to make a pun there, but they never gave us the powers as cool they could be. And so it was always kind of weird to me that they threw him onto the team and never used him to his full potential to begin with. So, no, that sounds good. That's a good plan. Like to me, I think that, and this is why and we'll talk about this more when we do the Gifted review. But I think the X-Men always work when they're so grounded. That's why I like the God Love Man's Kill storyline. Just like you can make that really, really grounded, and it really nails home. And I don't think that's another thing. I don't think that the movies have done a good job with of really nailing home how like the humans are really not good people.
It's the thing the movies haven't had the guts to do.
Right.
It's when you talk about the civil rights movement to a kid and they tell you about all the good things that Martin Luther King did and the nonviolent sit-ins, and you ask them, but who was he fighting against?
Right.
You have to get him to say America.
Right.
So America's the bad guy in the civil rights story. And a lot of people don't realize that because they can't come to grips with that. I think that's what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
They don't want to say they don't want to show that reflective lens. And spoilers, New Mutants that comes out as a fucking horror movie 10 months late, probably not going to shine any light on that either.
I wasn't even going to do that for
Call it anything else. Give the kids the same fucking powers. Name them something else. Don't call it New Mutants. There'll be no costumes in this. What are you, bragging, you dumb son of a bitch? Look at how much money the Avengers make. Okay, I'm sorry.
I wasn't even going to brag. It's going to be, but deep. It's going to be a hard PG-13 though.
Motherfucker, what? Was I going to say fuck once? I watched Slapshot when I was 10. That was a PG-13 movie.
God damn it. man.
PG-13 in 2018. These kids are soft. You know what? I'm done. I just heard an old man real fast. Like,
oh man, I got nothing. Amani wrote in, hey, you know what? Amani did something actually good here. And this will help me out because some of you guys, when you guys send these emails in, you guys send them in like right after. So I actually got, like I said, I think I'm not reading the ones that were sent to me in December because I'm not sure when we did them. But put in the title, put in the and when you email into us, do me a favor and put in the month.
yeah.
And that'll help because I didn't think they were gonna get. We got
covered. So, some said reaction to best X-Men after 2000. So.
Yeah, so but definitely put the month in. That'll help. This one says January mailbag, so I actually knew this was January mailbag. Like I said, I wasn't. You know what's the weird thing about it, and I can't believe that 10 years I'm still doing this. I always underestimate when people respond to us. And for some reason, I don't expect to get emails or respond. And I don't know why. For 10 years, I'm still like that. That's just my hang up. I need to get over that. But yeah, so like for some reason, when I saw these emails come, I was like, damn, people did email us in this time. Anyway, Imani says, hey fellas, appreciate another round of X-Men mailbag. Yeah, why are these turning into X-Men mailbags too, by the way? Like I've noticed.
Because you're playing your strength. Like I mean, we know it.
I'm not mad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not keep sending in your X-Men stuff because I love talking about X-Men. But like, goddamn,
you're gonna end us having a fucking X-Men podcast, isn't it?
See, why do you have to bring things like that up?
I'm just saying because like you know that's how this ends.
Like, can we at least pretend for now?
All right.
Can we at least let's try to pretend? Hey fellas, I'm reaching another round of X-Men mailbag. How glad is Marvel that Jon Malin's cable run was already ending with his last issue? We'll bring this up.
He could have said nothing.
We'll bring this up later on, but what a fucking moron! Like, just in case I forget and don't bring up later, this is an asshole who went on Twitter and went on somebody else's podcast trying to say that the X-Men aren't SJWs; they're actually the Jews in the story, and that the Nazis were real. It was some real.
I've never heard SJWs equated to Nazi in such a roundabout way. It was kind of amazing.
Well, this is what the whole Trump alt-right bullshit. This is what they do. They've turned this whole thing into, well, the Nazis were socialists, so socialists are also SJWs. So Nazis are. It's people who think this are stupid. I got nothing else. I'm just gonna leave it there. They're fucking stupid. And yeah, I didn't know who this dude was, but apparently Cable was actually good too. But I'm glad he's not longer on that anymore. And I don't think they fired him, but fuck him.
Yeah,
fuck him. This is another thing too, and I'm gonna get into the rest of your email, Amani, and I'm gonna ask Deepam this. Have you noticed this? Why does it always seem like the artists are the assholes? Like there are some asshole writers. Don't get me wrong, but is it me or does it seem like a lot of these the people, the alt-right motherfuckers, are artists, or is that just in my mind?
One of these is a task that can be taught over time that requires repetition and there's a bit of stylistic flair, but there's a way to draw. There's no way to write. It requires a flexibility of mind, and I'm generalizing,
right.
Obviously,
right.
But like to create from nothing is a lot,
right? And
I think that it would lend itself to someone who's a bit more open and empathic.
True.
Whereas you can be that and be an artist, but it's not a job requirement. You have to be able to tell varied stories as a writer.
Yeah, I knew I knew everything I needed to know about Malin when he turned out to be a huge Rob Liefeld mark, and I was like, so you can't draw feet either. So
it's my favorite Rob.
Right. I just like
this thing in the world. It's so funny to me.
Oh my god. The rest of the email. We're more or less relieved that Deepam that Greg Land is only doing the cover for Domino. Which, by the way, thank God we had a mini freak out. Like
you watched me go through the stages of grief on Twitter.
It was everybody. We saw that Gail Simone is going to be writing this Domino book, and we're all like, "Yay, awesome!" Wait a minute, is that Greg Land name on the cover? No. Yeah, he's just writing. He's just doing the cover. So just don't look at the cover and you'll be fine.
Buy a variant.
Or buy a variant. There you go.
Collectible item.
There you go. There you go. The obvious trash takes aside, the fact that he fundamentally misunderstands the X-Men so bad is just ridiculous. How are so many of these artists this consistently trash? Oh, I didn't even know you said this in the email too. Yeah, we don't get it either. It doesn't make any sense. And you're right. This is also something I said on Twitter. And this is something we've seen with X-Men, we've seen with Star Trek, we've seen with Star Wars. All these men are white, and I think that we're seeing that white. I'm learning that, and I think it's something we kind of all knew, but you're really like learning it now. That white men just fundamentally did not understand a lot of the stuff they claim to like.
It explains those X-Men movies.
Well, yes, it does. It definitely does. It explains Zack Snyder. But even on a deeper level, it's funny to me because think about it back when, and they still do it now. But you know how those dude bros always be like, oh, they nerd check women as, oh, you don't like these colors, you just like the pretty colors. It's like it turned out, well, a lot of these dudes, you only like the pretty pictures too, because you clearly didn't understand that the X-Men is literally a team of social justice warriors. Here, how did you not understand?
Protect a world that hates and fears them. That's the one-liner for X-Men. What comic were you reading?
When you see people who are, I want to all male cut of Star Wars. Star Wars is never about men. The most powerful person, if you think about it, if you want the most ballsy person, the most badass person in the original Star Wars, if you want to be honest, was Leia. It was always her.
It's her movies.
Look, let's think about what happens. She gets tortured.
Stop. She's the only motherfucker with an actual position in the rebellion.
Yeah.
Han's just some nigga.
And Luke is a moisture farmer.
Luke's a pilot. He's not even gold. He leads a squad of X-Wing.
Look, no, wait. Calling him a pilot is being very generous, all right? He was not a pilot.
No, he's a Skywalker. He's a fucking pilot. Don't do this.
He was a moisture farmer, all right?
Who could fly. He's a shoot wall rats.
See, that's what I want to do. I wanted you to get there. I wanted you to get there.
However, practice, whatever gets you there, baby. Marshall Walker never looked at a weight in his life.
Oh man, but
country strong. That's right. Luke was country strong.
She faces down the most feared person in the Empire. Gets tortured. Hitler. Right, Space Hitler gets tortured. Watches her planet get blown up. Still badass. And then, a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, she gets tortured. Her planet gets blown up. She lies to Space Hitler and tells him the wrong base.
Because she's a gangster.
It's always been about her. I don't understand that. When I see people complain about Star Trek, I'm like, Star Trek, are you, the first interracial kiss on TV was Star Trek. What, it's always been about this. What are you guys, it was one of the most diverse shows, ever. What are you talking about? How can you not know that? And it just hit me. It's like, oh, you guys just never get it. You never got it.
You never wanted to get it.
No. You saw the pretty pictures.
Powers and moved on.
Yep, and that was it for you. When you missed the fucking point. So, can we talk about what Jason Aaron doing on Thor? My God, it was enough when he brought back in numbers issue 700. But he's made Mango absolutely terrifying. We're not going to be ready for that. And yeah, I need to catch up on that. I have not finished that one. So I need to catch up on Thor. I'm buying the issues. I just have not read them. I'm behind on everything. And how long before Black Comic Trader tries to come for Deepon for his hot takes on the Storm movie? I better hope he doesn't get caught slipping in a poorly photoshopped Black Panther and Storm t-shirt. Rooting for a loser like Charlie Conway, it wouldn't surprise me.
How dare you?
3 weeks until Black Panther. All right, so
I'm not doing the Conway thing tonight. No, I don't have time. Ask me the question.
All right, so let's see. Topic of the day. Let's get into our spiciness here, because all these emails kind of hit it out.
Are we going mild first and then spicy, or we just go straight to spicy?
I thought we already did mild.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good.
I thought we already did mild, so we're going to start with the spicy. Why Marvel needs to keep Storm as far away from T'Challa as possible.
Oh, that's a spicy one. Okay, cool.
Oh, what spicy? You do want to go extra spicy?
Oh, I didn't realize there were levels of spice. Let's do this now. Why Storm needs to be kept the fuck away from Black Panther? Do you want to start or should I?
Well, I'll start with this. Okay, for everybody who says that they want them together and that they should be together. First of all, can I have people? I was going to let it slide, and then people try to hit me with in the comics that's his wife. In the comics, no, they're not married anymore. They haven't been married for 4 or 5 years now.
The issue before AVX, she divorces him.
No, actually,
he tells him when he needs to talk. He leaves her in the middle of AVX. That's what it is.
Yeah, he has their marriage annulled, I believe.
Yep. I'm also the high priest.
Yeah. So they're not even married anymore. So there's that. So you're wrong. Second, to all the people who are all this, we need the black love and blah blah. I saw that poorly photoshopped shirt. Every her Black Panther, his Storm. Tell me, folks, what was the really great love story of Storm and Black Panther? What was so great about that love story? Did you actually read it? Because it's actually fucking terrible. It comes out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden, in Hudlin's run, I want to say he starts it with, issue... what issue is it? I can't remember what issue it is. It's, early in his volume 4. All of a sudden now, the two characters that never had any significant moments ever together are now have a past where...
that's never been mentioned before.
Never been mentioned before. Like, when I tell you that Storm, before that Hudlin run in, what was that, 2005?
Yes.
Before 2005, you can count on one hand how many times Storm and T'Challa had screen time together and significant screen time, page time together. They never did, guys. It's 2005. The black woman that you're looking for is called Monica Lynne.
Yes.
It's 30-year history there. All right? If you just want black love, that's the storyline. But what happened was they decided they wanted to try to sell books and do the pandering thing that people actually hate, and decided to put the two black characters together, popular black characters together, just for no reason, because they're, I'm putting this in quotes, African, and I'm sorry, yeah, and that's why, and it made no fucking sense, because there's a whole storyline with Monica Lynne and stuff like that where it's
they earn the relationship. It's earned. It's built. It's in the story.
Jungle action, her mama made him fried chicken and greens in the States while he went to go fucking kick the KKK's ass. That's the story you want. That's the relationship you want. This whole Storm, it doesn't make any sense. People go, well, I ship Storm. How? Why?
Because of a picture?
What?
Someone drew you a picture.
What storylines were they good in?
Okay, I'll give you this. There's one story arc I enjoy this pairing.
Is that the one with the Fantastic Four?
Dwayne McDuffie wrote the shit out of them too. And that's how you know it was good, because Dwayne McDuffie wrote it.
And I was talking to Justin on the through I think the last show, and he was talking about Dwayne McDuffie said that he used his own relationship as the model for that, and that's the only time. And here, the crazy thing about it, I guarantee you, most people who think about Storm and T'Challa aren't thinking about that.
They have no idea those issues happen.
Because they're literally
they're filler Fantastic Four issues because concurrently Reed and Sue have left the team to work on their marriage in the wake of Civil War. So, as a favor to Reed, T'Challa decides to serve with the Fantastic Four. They end up going, and T'Challa fights the Silver Surfer in fucking space using Wakandan technology. It's a great FF story. It's a great Black Panther story. It's a great Storm story. Because if you think she can't use her powers in space, Ray McDuffie tells you nay.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean,
we do the African thing right now, please.
Go ahead and do it. Hit the next level spice.
So Storm's mother was a princess in Kenya. Storm's father was an American photojournalist, and she was born in Manhattan.
A lot of people forget that. You know what?
Born in Manhattan.
I've actually seen people say she's Egyptian.
No, they moved to Cairo when she's 6 months old.
Thank you.
She's an American citizen.
Thank you. Yes, everybody forgets this. Yes. Everybody forgets it.
After her parents die, becomes a street urchin who robs people. She was 5 and orphaned on the streets of Cairo. She's taken in by a bunch of thieves and ends up robbing people to stay alive and ends up picking the pocket of one telepathic Charles Xavier.
The Cairo thing is where people get the Egyptian part from.
I know.
I've seen videos though, they should have gotten an Egyptian actress. I was like, no. Like, you don't want to be an asshole, but at the same time, you want to be like, no.
And you guys have to understand and I know it sounds like we do it a lot. I know following us on Twitter or social media, the number of times we bite our tongues on things. That one post in the group about the telekinesis and Xavier.
Oh, that was great. We were all sitting there going, I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be. And somebody else said, and we're like, thank you.
God bless you, man. Step it up. Taking that bullet.
I didn't want to be that person. But no, I mean, I think that this is important because, one, the whole African thing with Storm is played, and it's the reason why they put her and T'Challa together. And every time I go, but wait, she was born in America. And if you remind people that she's born in America, then it makes the fact that they went with Storm and not Monica even dumber.
Yes.
Because the other thing too is that the thing with the story with Monica and T'Challa is, Monica's whole she's just a regular. She's a singer from Georgia, I believe. And there's this whole thing about her not being. It's almost like you could do what you could do, and I've seen people say, "Oh, they can introduce a Storm into Black Panther 2 and stuff." Like, no. You introduce Monica because then you know what you can do. You can almost do Coming to America.
No, you should introduce Monica in this one because we know that this is going to be part of the story. Is going to be Wakanda opening up to the larger world.
Oh, you want to introduce her in the first one?
Just have a photojournalist be like, "Hey, I work for so and so, and I would love to come to the country." And at the end of the movie, he calls her and invites her.
Yeah.
That's the stinger. We don't have to do some stinger involving Thanos and Infinity Stone. Give me something contained. Give me something that's going to build over time.
It's a good story.
And the thing I just like most about Storm as someone else in a Black Panther movie.
We go next level spice?
No. We'll get there.
Okay.
She's so powerful that you almost have to neuter her to make her make sense in a Black Panther movie.
Well,
and that's what I really disliked about her in the comic run, is they turned her into a sidekick.
Well, so that goes to the other thing with, hold on, I'm getting an echo. All right, that goes to the other thing with Storm that. When I see people say introduce her in a Black Panther 2, I'm like, you want to introduce her in Black Panther 2 and you're taking this powerful black female character and reducing her to just be basically not a side piece, but a side character,
a romantic interest.
And I'm like, fuck you. And again, I mean, we're not going to go with the hey, she needs her own book and things like that. No, I won't go that far. I always used to bring that up just because I'm like, yo, if we're gonna give all these other characters solo stories, might as well, why the fuck not? But like, she's an X-Man. She's a leader of the X-Men. Like she
Say
is.
it one more time. She's a what?
She's a leader of the X-Men.
Thank you.
Like, if anything, if you want to do, you know what my idea for a Storm movie is? This. It's not a Storm movie. It's an X-Men movie with her as the lead.
Nigga, okay. That's the extra spicy part. We'll get there in a second. But yes.
But like, what do you do? What do you do with her in Black Panther 2? Because now, first of all, you then moved her into what is supposed to be, and yes, they're opening up to the world, but it's still a closed society. And she's what now? Like, how do you massage? What is the storyline for Storm in Wakanda that doesn't lead to her? Because people go, oh no, add her in there. She doesn't have to be his wife. Like, the only reason why she would be there would be for that. That's the only storyline with Storm and Wakanda and T'Challa is eventually them being husband and wife. Like her being Queen of Wakanda, not really doing anything. Like that's the storyline. Like there's no other reason for her to be there. She has her own shit. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. You know? And that's what bothers me about this is that, you know, people say they want this, but I don't think this is one of those ones where I have to nerd check you on this one because it's bad for everything.
It's not a nerd check. It's people get gassed up over images.
Right.
People like the visual, but we saw that the report released this week about the study on how people like the Marvel films more than the DC films. And part of it was emotional connection to the character. And you're being shown a pretty picture, but I'm telling you, these characters, there's not a movie big enough for those two sides of characters.
No. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Don't do that. Like, it's stupid. Let's go to top level spice.
Get it?
No, you go. Could you wanted to get into the
There should not be a Storm solo movie, full stop. I understand it. We've all got favorites. And this is a favorite that's got a legion of fans. But I will say this. What are your favorite Storm stories? What are your favorite Storm stories? And how many of them are divorced from the X-Men?
Well, I think that's the thing where there's a lot of that where I'm like, I think that this idea of taking each of these individual X-Men and giving them their own individual movies is just a bad idea.
There's some characters that just work better in a team dynamic because the depth and breadth of their character is displayed in how they interact with the people around them. Like they've never suggested. Like I'm a Havoc mark, and I think a Havoc would be a terrible fucking idea.
Like to me, and it doesn't mean that you can't
feature these characters in a prominent role. Like you said earlier, I think you should do a movie where Storm leads the X-Men. I think in the movie the second of those movies, I think that it should be recognized that Storm had supplanted Cyclops as the leader. She should be the acting leader during the Dark Phoenix saga because Cyclops was compromised.
Yes.
My first 4 movies, that arc ends with her as the leader. And the 5th one opens with her as headmistress.
And I was about to bring that up. Because then also, not just the leader of the X-Men, but then also running the school. Like they're, and look, like to me, adding in the X-Men doesn't mean you get a whole bunch of solo X-Men stories.
Yeah, just stories.
Exactly. But there's a ton of fucking teams.
What's the shame in these team in a team movie, a team book?
You can do an all female X squad.
Mm-hmm. You could do multiple squads in a movie.
Multiple squads in a movie, like shit. We can go back to the red or the blue and gold era. Like
I'm reading Phoenix Resurrection right now. I'm not going to spoil anything. Very well done, guys. But they split into 4 teams of X-Men. It's all like a mishmash of X-Men.
And the thing about and that's what Fox. Thank God, we hopefully won't be dealing with this very much longer. But Fox has gotten this idea that the way to make their films different is to remove all the comic bookness from their movies and make them R-rated. And to me, I say no. You have the X-Men. What makes the X-Men different from any other team movie we've seen right now is you can do what you just said. You can make a bunch of different teams that have complementary powers and are built for a certain way, right? Like, I'm reading the Rogue and Gambit book, and it's fun because Kitty sends Rogue and Gambit off to to investigate this marriage count, and you're like, well, it makes sense because if they're telepaths, you guys do have a history of a relationship, and it would work. And I'm like, you know what?
It's
Fuck.
so easy. Look, that's how you open the X-Men movie. Just have Charles Xavier call in for X-Men. I need you, and you can tell any story you want from there. You can even do like lazy Chirons as they walk in, identifying them and their powers. Like, just make it look like. Or maybe Charles gives a quick bio as he reads their minds as he calls to them. To me, my X-Men. Like, that's the calling card of X-Men. And the core of X-Men has always been, it's a family. And not in the way like, oh, the Fantastic Four family. They're literally all the same race. They're a different species than humans. Yeah. They're all one family.
Yeah. Like,
the individuals matter, yes. And Storm's very important. I'd say she's one of, if I had to say crucial X-Men, and it's always funny because you know what? It's when you start realizing how much of the mythos is dominated by women. The crucial X-Men are Storm, Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, Logan, and Cyclops. Those are the big 5 in my opinion.
Yes.
You can build a book around any one of those 5 of them lead.
Yep.
And they've chosen Logan for so goddamn long.
Well, and like, I think that, like you said, like, to me, the Storm solo movie thing is, I think I'm hoping it's just people calling out that they should.
They want to see this character featured.
And they should, and featured well, because she hasn't been done well so far, right? Because even when they brought in Alexander, and I don't think Ship did a bad job, she was given nothing to fucking do.
Still haven't seen that movie.
You don't need to. And, like, that's what bothers me. It's like, give these characters some respect. Put some respect in their name. It's particularly the female character. Like you said, there's some, like, if you're going to do and use Josh Whedon's, cause I think that's something you could do as well. We didn't mention this with the runs.
Just do Astonishing?
Because you technically kind of already did the first one, right? With The Cure.
Yeah. X3.
So that was X3, and we can kind of forget that. But you can do the next 2 or 3.
And guess what? The Emma Frost arc is a horror movie. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and it is a good
mythos, and it makes sense, and it's a story that it's already been storyboarded for you, you fucking idiots. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, and you can change the characters.
Of course.
Change the characters,
but the narrative structure's built for you. Just plug and play.
Yeah, and I think the thing that makes that works for Storm, and that's why I think that if you do the Storm story and make her a lead of a team, it works really well because you don't really get individual Storm stories. You do really get individual moments with Storm and other characters. She's really well with. You said what?
About X-Men's about moments.
Yeah. So you get really
that many. And what set these characters up to succeed, if you want Storm to be around for a while and in the culture for a while, putting her out there in a solo movie with, I have to say, not a very strong solo backing.
Right.
You're setting the character up to fail. Put her in a position where we know the character, all the edges can be covered, all the circle can be squared because they're able to play off of each other. You give me a strong ensemble cast, I'll take you to the moon.
Now you give me Storm, Logan, Kirk. Who would be?
I would love to do one without Logan at all.
You know what? Fine. You know what? Remove Logan. Do Kirk. I think Storm and
Yeah, Yes.
And make a really good pairing. I love that moment. And we even got a little bit of that. They were decent in the next two. You know,
here's what you do: you do a movie, and not in time with the five I listed earlier. You just do a standalone movie. It's Storm, Kurt, Peter, Kitty. I'm trying to think, just classic Australia era X-Men. You could do Havoc, but I want to do one more woman. I'd go Psylocke then, or Rogue.
You know what?
And you could just tell a story like that.
Because let's see. You got Rogue and Storm as flyers. You have
Colossus a powerhouse,
and you have Kitty.
You got a scout and Kitty and a Nightcrawler.
Oh, that's a perfect team. That's a good team. That's a good team.
And you got a telepath and Psylocke.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that. And a ninja. So.
No, I do British Psylocke.
Oh, you do British? Okay, yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Okay.
British Asian Psylocke gets weird because no one can really explain it.
Right? No, that's always a weird one.
I've read them.
We've all read them. It's just like weird.
It's tough.
We did that. Wait, when we covered it at some point, we did cover that. Was it during the Logan? Did we talk about it during the Wolverine one? I think we did because it came during Wolverine.
He comes back through Siege Perilous as a brainwashed assassin.
Right.
Wow. I am a fucking nerd. That was really. I just.
Oh man. No, that's a good team, and you have Storm. Like it's really great, man. Like, oh man,
it allows you to diversify your casting. It allows you to say this is not the X-Men you've seen before because none of these characters have acted together on a big like it.
I'm getting excited.
The thing is, they've pinholed what X-Men can be, and it's frustrating for you, me, and people who've loved this series and love these characters because. If you tell me what kind of story you want to tell, I can get you the next team to tell it. Yeah. You want to do a heist? Awesome. It's Logan, Psylocke, Gambit. It's Storm because guess what? She's a thief.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can tell. And guess what? And you know the weirdest thing for me is that my favorite period of Storm, Mohawk without the powers.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Storm.
I mean, you could always do the Morlocks.
Oh, do the Callisto thing? Yeah.
You could always do that. I mean, like I said,
you want a Storm-centric story? You want a Storm-centric story that touches the heart of what it means to be an X-Man? Go have them fight the people who can't come above the surface. They kidnap Angel. Oh, wow. You tie it to the Morlock Massacre. Oh. Get the Marauders on one side, the X-Men on the other, and the Morlocks in the middle, man. They kidnap Angel. The X-Men go to save him, and at the same time, the Marauders are coming to clean out the tunnels. And they go from fighting the Morlocks to protecting them.
Yeah, man.
Man, mutant monster. Oh, God. Someone hire me.
Maybe
that
one
was
day.
Not prepared material. I just made those up.
No. I mean, we make this happen. Like it's just. But like I said,
I think I know why we're getting 70 X-Men emails. They seem to have found our wheelhouse.
Yeah. No. These are. We know X-Men. Like and I'll end here with this thing here. The other reason why you don't put T'Challa and Storm together is it goes back to what we always said about why I'm very wary and I'm totally against this idea of merging. And I've seen people try to do it, merging the X-Men into the MCU. It just doesn't fit because for the most part, the X-Men have always felt separated from them to begin with. Mm-hmm. It just, we have the stories. You do the Avengers versus X-Men and stuff like that. But honestly, other than a crossover here, there, or a character possible here and there, it's been more of a recent thing that you've seen the X-Men. Like, I know me growing up and reading as many X-Men comics as I did, I rarely saw a touched Avenger stuff. I rarely saw it in my comics.
I think we covered this.
Yeah.
Maybe last Mailbag, but yeah, you're right. The major crossovers were for Avengers anniversaries. I believe it was not Deadly Attractions, but
you had Attractions? So you had what?
Magneto kidnaps his granddaughter.
Yeah, you have that. You have Avengers Annual 10, which I still have. That's when Rogue gets Captain Marvel's.
That's not even an X-Men crossover. That's the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah, so it's like it's but again it's very rare. It's a very rare occurrence that it happens.
Civil War and House of M was the real first, like, oh shit, Like they're going to slam these two together.
And that's just recent if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it's in the last 15, 20 years. And it's made for some good stories, some interesting stories, but it's also made for moments like we talked about last time where Cyclops says, "Where were you for the mutants?"
You are a government funded and a government sanctioned team. Where were you where the government you say what?
It's actually fluctuated a lot.
I mean, it's fluctuated, but for the most part, right? Where were you when the government was making giant mutant killing death machines?
Yeah.
Like, Captain, did you speak out against that? Did you speak out against, your government creating machines to hunt down and slaughter mutants? Oh, you didn't though, right?
American citizens, Cap.
Like, and like you can't just have mutants just pop up in the MCU. It wouldn't have the same impact. Like they need to be.
Unless you want to go like a young Charles and young Eric, and do it that way. But then you're going to create like mutants that.
But then you have an Eric that doesn't have.
You can do it.
The Holocaust as his backing, and it's like it, like that.
Sadly enough, there have been enough genocides in the 1990s or 1900s. We can move genocides.
Not, but is there?
You're right.
And like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it's just like it has to be that genocide.
You're right. No, you're 100% right. It's
just
I was
hard.
trying to find a way where you could make it.
I've thought about it.
Generational story where you could start it now.
I've thought about it. Yeah,
you can't.
I've thought about it too. I was like, well, maybe you can pick a more recent. And I'm like, no, it just. And I don't. I'm not trying to like take one genocide as better than the other, but it's just like the World War II was huge, and like that impact, and it's just not the same as what you see today, where it's just different, and so I don't know. I don't know. I just think that it just doesn't work, and honestly, I don't think you need to do it. I think that's a bigger thing too. I also think that this might be a chance for Marvel to do something different and new with the X-Men. Maybe they don't do they're not trying to do a cinematic universe. Like imagine if they did a bunch of X-Men films, they were not connected. They just did a bunch of X-Men films. You just told
Blackbird.
Yeah, you just did a bunch of individual stories, and I think there's so much you can do with the X-Men, and it opens up so much that leave the MCU alone, let them do and cook and do what they're doing there, and then go wild with the X-Men. Like I said, there are so many things inside the X-Men universe that you don't need to touch the MCU. I mean, you think about all the X teams we've had. There's so many things you can do. You got X-Men, X Factor, X Force. You have the New Mutants. You have Excalibur. Like there's a lot. There's a lot you can do here, and all those mini crossovers they did and storylines, and you got time travel. You start bringing in Bishop and Cable and Rachel. Like there's so much you can do here, and God forbid you go cosmic and then bring in like the Shi'ar Empire and things like that. Like there's a fucking lot. We don't. I think we're good in that you can keep that separate and still have a hell of a fucking time. And if for some reason you don't think that, please go back and start reading some of the older X-Men stuff, and you'll see why.
We're not nerve checking. We're just telling you there is a formula that works really well.
Yeah.
With this group of characters, and it can be applied in a lot of different situations to give these filmmakers a lot of creativity. And I'll say this: you can say what you will about the homogenization of the MCU. Ant-Man's a heist film. Captain America was a historical drama. Thor 1 was Shakespeare with a hammer. Civil War was, a nonstop thriller. Winter Soldier is an espionage drama. They've shown flexibility in ways they tell their stories. If they can apply that same commitment to diversity of thought with the X-Men, I think we're in for a really big, something really good.
I hope so. All right, you know what? I had some other stories we're going to do. I'm going to end it here. I think we're good here. We just turned this into another X-Men. This is like our third one in a row. We see what you guys are doing here. We see what you're doing here.
You can ask about other stuff. Whoever was talking about Jason Aaron's Thor earlier, I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just Jason Aaron, so yeah.
Out of the park, every issue.
Right. So, yeah. So, folks, the next mailbag will probably have a lot of emails too because that's gonna be right after Black Panther. So, I look forward to that. So, put in February Black Panther in your subject, but email us mailbag@mtrnetwork.net and make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube. So, MTR Network on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, MTR Network there. Go to Super Tuesday Recap. .mtrnetwork.net to get us there and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Super Tuesday Recap. And we got, like I said, we have a lot of content coming out. Like this actually might come out after all the other content we have. So by the time you get this one, you should have had also our Star Trek, The Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, and The Gifted, and then we'll have this. So it's a fucking lot of shit coming out. But anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for listening, and we will be back. We'll be back sooner than that for other stuff, but we'll be back at the end of next month for another mailbag. So thank you guys very much for listening. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.